Hey guys, and welcome back to Tax Talk with Jay. All right, so we're still in our budget series, Leaving Wealth, Not Debt, the tax edition. So we introduced the budget model in our second episode, and then we began to break down in episode 3 of the budget model by highlighting tax deductible charitable contributions such as, tithing. Why? Because God said so, and if you remember, it could be tax deductible. We talked about the 501(c)(3)s, how to search for your organization. And what's even better is the blog is up, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to hear me mention this several times because I want you to not only go look at it, but I want you to subscribe because there are so many links in the blog. Like, I'm not just sitting here throwing information at you on a podcast. You can actually go to the website, jchambersconsult.services. Go to our click in the top right hand corner for the menu and click on our blogs. And once you click on the blog, it'll have the excerpt from the show in the title, and you'll be able to find some really good information. So we want to make sure you guys know that that is there for you. Now, tonight we finished the budget model with a mock budget. We're going to base some things on South Carolina expenses if we get into actual bills, expenses like that, like gas and electricity and things of that nature. Once we begin to calculate income, because that's one thing I am going to use numbers for. I'm not going to do a whole lot of numbers in this segment because it's a podcast. But that's one thing I will use numbers for. And so I'll be using $15 an hour for that model just to kind of give you some information. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to grab your bills. I want you to grab your pay stub if you don't know how much you make an hour. And I want some not reasonable, realistic dates and amounts on your end. Okay, it's a podcast. Pause, get what you need, do the things you need to. But I just want to make sure that you have everything you need. All right. So as always, grab a pen and paper so we can get dirty and get in these numbers. And you're here with Tax Talks with Jay, where taxes are a year-round discussion. Now, you guys know we don't get started without a message from our sponsors. Who the sponsors? Me, because they got to pay the bills. All right, all right. So I want to let you know that summer sessions are posted for the month of June on our website. Why is this important? And who is this for? This is for you. This is for you. So the courses are $5.99 per person. $5.99, guys. Summer sessions. Why are they so cheap? Because while I have a whole lot of information to give you, I want to make that information affordable. All right. Now, with that being said, I don't just want, our regular taxpayers that have been paying taxes for the last 10 years. I love you guys. I want you, but I also want your youth. I want the newly graduated, those that are in college, those that have chosen a trade. I want them to come, and I want you to bring them in here. And why do I want you to bring them in here, and why am I making it your responsibility? Because if they come to you and ask you to explain to them the contributions they're making on their job to their 401k, you're going to send them back to their job, aren't you? Their job is not going to help them. If they come to you and they ask you about their taxes and tax liability because they need some more information or they don't understand this form, you're going to send them to the IRS or a tax preparer. I'm sorry, you're wrong. You're wrong. If you're already paying taxes and you're already doing these things, why are you not teaching your children how to do them? And if you don't currently possess the knowledge to be able to do that, why would you not put them on a path where they can gain this knowledge and be more successful than we are right now? Because, yeah, we had to figure a lot of stuff out on our own. I myself am a manufacturing mommy. And so while I don't do manufacturing right now, I started in manufacturing. That means I walked into a facility, I filled out some information, some 401k information, and that was that. Did I have a clear understanding of everything I got? I just knew I could go to the doctor. Okay, my kids could go to the doctor. That's what mattered. So we hold these workshops to give more information. And we're not just doing it. We're doing 401k, we're doing IRA, we're doing above the line deductions and below the line deductions. So we want to make sure we get in on those this summer, not just to help us, but to help our youth so that we can start them up on, a lot better than where we were. Okay, guys? So make sure established taxpayers and graduates, college students, come on down, take a course. Now, we have families that want to bring their children, but they can't afford that ticket. Send us an email, jc@jchambersconsult.services. We got a few seats that we did reserve for the youth to donate. So just let us know, okay? So now that we have made an effort to pay the bills 1 out of 3 times on this podcast, let's go ahead and jump into the nitty gritty, okay? So we're going to begin today with income distribution because we're now in our budget. We've talked about the 10% and how to get that back on your taxes and why it's important. That's God's money, okay? So now we're going to the 50, the 20, the 20. Now, as we go through this, you may find as you're doing your budget that you do not make enough money to pay your bills. Go to episode 2, blog post. We got some extra information there. Also, I'm going to give you a little tidbit now. I just want to remind everybody, subscribe to the blogs because after this, every piece of information you get off of this page today is going to be on the blog. Podcast is going to be on the blog. Okay, guys? So I'm not going to leave you hanging. Now, if you go on our website at jchambersconsult.services, you're going to see our store. In our store, you're going to see a t-shirt, a bag, and a notebook, a journal, actually. And they all have the tithe information on there, and they have a scripture. And I feel like they were pretty cool. You know, I like black and gold. That's me. How much did it cost me to open a Canva account? Nothing. How much did it cost me to find a print source and upload my designs? Nothing. And then so how much did it cost me to post them on my website? Nothing. And so when I got my first sale, then that money came to me, but I did not wait on that money to come to me. I went ahead and put forth my own money, ordered the customer's item, and I sent it to them. Now, you can include how long it'll take for you to get your money if you don't have that in their shipping time, but just make sure the customers know that up front, okay? But me, myself, I had a little bit of, not a lot, but thank the Lord. I had a little bit of money sitting there so that I could do that. I planned for it. I budgeted for the first 5 orders. You know what I'm saying? So they wouldn't be delayed and people could get their stuff. When I did this before, I actually bought some stock and had it in-house and just waited on people to order. But I had so many items in my store at that time that I couldn't have so many things here, so I had to do drop shipping. But that's just some information on how you can make some more money. And it doesn't have to be online. Don't start out online trying to sell things. Start in person. And the best way to start in person, especially if you are a woman, men, I love y'all, but I'm not a man. I can't give you advice on how to get a man's attention, but I can give women advice. And as women, one thing we do, if we see you outside and you looking fly, we want to know where you got it from, girl, because I'm trying to get something like that. So make your design something fly for yourself and walk outside. I have a Popular Lona t-shirt that, you'll hear me talk about a lot. I haven't even put it back in the store yet, but I have a Popular Lona t-shirt. When I go out, people ask about that t-shirt because it's fly. It's fly. It's got a little black girl on it. It's fly. You know what I'm saying? So when they ask, I'm like, hey, website, check the website, check the website. And so that's what's going to bring in our business. And this is something important for our children. Like if you want to start entrepreneurship in the home, these are things that you can think about. But yeah, so when you're thinking about, whether or not you're making enough money to pay all your bills, just look at extra income that you can bring in to assist this. Now, a few notes before we get started, before we start breaking some things down. We are only breaking down this budget. If you want a true budget model that you can look at and that you can go through, check the blog. Check the blog. Blog posts usually go up 24 to 48 hours after the after the podcasts are published. So check the blog. There should be a link in there for all of my subscribers that are listening. If you put in the code "thank you" as a promo code, you can actually get those sheets for free. So if you're looking for a digital planning sheet or a budgeting sheet or something of that nature, you can get those and you're able to download them. They are not for sale for resale, and they are not for sale for commercial use. They are only for personal use and they are branded. Okay. So keep on going. And so what we're going to do, we're going to use the gross pay model because there are 5 different filing statuses. There are millions of people in the world. I cannot do a model for everybody. So we're just going to concentrate on gross income on the federal level. And one thing I want to ask you, did you know that you are liable for taxes even if you get a refund? Yes, so your credits and things of that nature, those pretty much offset a lot of things, and so you end up not having to pay as much taxes as other people would, or those taxes are taken care of for you due to those credits. But it's very important for you to gain knowledge on why you don't currently owe the IRS before you get to the point where you do have to pay the IRS. Because, sometimes we often wait until we no longer have dependents. And then while you're waiting and you no longer have a dependent and it hits you in the face like a ton of bricks, like, oh, I owe the IRS $2,000 this year. How did that happen? No, you can get ahead of that. And like we spoke of in our prior sessions with updating your W-4, that's how you get ahead of that. Allow the IRS to take that money out of your check prior to you getting it and prior to April 18th. And that way, you let them do it all year round. You may end up breaking even or not having to pay as much. So that's something to think about. But I just want to make sure you guys know that, especially with the young mothers coming up, it gets good money, especially if you got more than one kid. You doing tax time, you don't really think about what your tax liability is because you're not liable for it at that time. It's been deleted. So that's just something to think about, okay? So let's start with the calculations, okay? We're going to take it slow. Some of you may feel like this is mundane, but let me just paint you a really quick and accountable picture. Did you sit down and teach your child how to do this? No, you just assumed that they would learn in school, but did they teach you in school? Okay, then no, then sit down, be quiet, and allow me to get through this, okay? Thank you very much. Very, very much. Um, Let's go. So to get our gross income for the month, we are, like I said, we're working with $15 an hour over here, just for example purposes. Take however much money you make an hour. Okay, we're not taking taxes out right now. We're just doing gross. Gross means before they take taxes out. Net means after they take taxes out and all those other fees, child support, things of that nature. Okay, all right. Wage garnishments, all of that. Now, we're going to take our $15 an hour and we're going to multiply it by 80 hours. We're going to base this on getting paid every 2 weeks because we need a monthly income right now. That's what we're trying to get to. We need a roundabout monthly income. Now, you may be saying, Jessica, this isn't going to be realistic because there are no taxes being taken out. We will get into that in the next segment. I will show you how to find the percentage of taxes that's coming out and how to determine what your tax liability is. I'll show you the link. We'll actually come video next segment, and I'll show you all of this via screen sharing so that you can sit down and you can finish your budget. On our next episode, you should be completely have all the information you need to sit down and do a proper budget. Okay, so take that $15 an hour, multiply it by 80 hours because we get paid every 2 weeks. All right. And that's going to give us $1,200 bi-weekly. We're going to multiply that $1,200 by 2 because we get paid twice a month and we're getting paid bi-weekly. Okay. That's going to give us for the month $2,400 for a gross income. That's before taxes. Okay. Okay. Everybody should be with me. All right. We're just let's make sure. If you need to, I'm not gonna repeat it because it's a podcast. So you can back it up and listen to it again. But understand we're working with gross income for a reason, okay? Because I want you guys to be able to calculate your tax liability. Because the only way that you can know how to reduce it and what you can do for it is to be able to calculate it. So I'm starting y'all from beginning and taking y'all straight through. You're going to be like masterminds when we finish with these series. Okay. I'm very proud of you guys for just coming this far. I just want to say that. Now that we know how much money we have to spend for the month, we can begin to build our budget. Now, I know, like, at this point, y'all want to jump in and start naming bills. Like, you want to start in and, $450 for the lights and this and that. No, let's not do that yet. Understand that you need to group everything. You need to start grouping stuff so you know where your money is and how your money is going. So, understand that this works for me. This is a model that's worked for me for a long time. You're going to have to do what works for you. But when you can section everything off, then you know where you're pulling for what and like when bills. So these are the things that I need you to make sure you got when you sit down to do your complete budget. I need you to know your either net or gross income. Net is a good one to work with, but gross is okay as well because because we're learning how to calculate our tax liability. All right. Number 2, we are also going to bring our bills. Why are we going to bring our bills? Because we want realistic numbers, A. along with the realistic numbers that we want, we also want dates, because sometimes you gotta shuffle some stuff around. Sometimes so we want a date that it's due and the buffer date. We need to know how much time. We got 7 days, we got 10 days. We need to know before a late fee is charged, things of that nature. We want to know those things because that's a healthy budget. A healthy budget is knowing when things are going to come out of your account. Healthy and disciplined financing is setting auto pay so your bills are paid. And this is when you make enough money to cover all your bills, darling. Not when you're struggling. Only when you make enough money to cover all your bills. If you're struggling, do not turn on auto pay. Sit down, put your bills in the calendar, move them around, figure things out. It's an ever-changing budget. It's not a one-time thing. It's a daily thing, okay? But if you can pay all of your bills with your check comfortably, A, give God praise. B, auto pay and reminders. Set up auto pay and a reminder needs to come 3 days in advance for you to cancel the payment if you don't have it, okay? Let's say you had the $750 for the rent and it has to be paid on the 1st, and you got that thing getting ready to come out on the 1st, and on the 25th, one of your children comes home and says, Mom, I have broken my 3rd pair of glasses for the year. Woo! If you follow me on TikTok, you can understand that was a day for me. So when a child comes in and says that, and they're in school and they need to be able to see the board, you gotta go and order some glasses, boo. You gotta go do that. And so that may come out to be free, or that may come out to be $450. Oh, either way, either way, you got to move some stuff around. Okay, that means rent ain't gonna get paid on the 1st. It might get paid on the 5th. It might get paid on the 15th. We might need to do some late fees, so we need to incorporate it in our budget. Budgets are ever changing. They change every day. So I don't want you to do it one time and then get caught up or get agitated. I want you to continue to work with it until it works for you. Okay. Now, with that being said, we got to know where to tweak, and we got to know like when to move things around. And when I say tweak, I'm not saying, oh, well, God, I can't give you a 10%. No, we don't start there when we're tweaking. We start with wants and needs. Wants and needs, okay? So let's start off grouping our expenses. And then once we finish grouping the expenses, then we'll jump on to how to tweak with household wants and needs. So we're in the expenses. That's 50%. Now, before we jump on this, let's get a message from those sponsors, okay? Have you subscribed to our website? Come on, baby. You falling behind. You falling behind. You want to be updated on the new podcast, the new episodes when they drop on YouTube, as well as the blogs. Why should you have to come hunt for it when it can come to you and get that 15% off discount? So go to jchambersconsult.services and subscribe today. Thank you. And we're back. All right. So back to grouping expenses. So the way I start is I start with utilities. Okay. Now, when I say utilities, under that I group cable, water, phone, anyone you pay for a service, whether it's the gardener, the maid, whatever. Hey, I don't judge. Whatever you do. Some people living on $15 an hour that work 14 to 16-hour shifts a day, and cleaning house is the last thing on their mind after working 5 to 6 days. Hire a maid, baby. Yes. Service industry, yes. And make sure you tip. Okay. All right. So gas, electricity, things of that nature, internet, all of that's going to fall under utilities. You're going to put all of those there. You're going to add them together, and you're going to leave that total right there. We're not going to fret right now. We're not going to look at this and say, oh, this is high. This is $350. Don't worry about what you're cutting out yet. We'll get back to that, okay? Now, next I add transportation. So this is going to be your car payment, gas that you put in that car, okay? Metro card purchases or Ubers, whatever form of transportation you take, that's what needs to be there. You need to kind of get an estimate for the money. You know how much money it takes to fill your car with gas, and if you running, you know how much you run out. Like me, when I was driving, because I live in New York City now. When I was driving, it was about $29 to $30 to fill my car up. I had a Nissan Sentra. Don't play with me, okay? I had a Nissan Sentra, so like 25, $30. Long time ago. This is like 2020, 2019. Yeah. And so I'd fill that up, and I would do that, once a week. Nissan Versa, guys. And plus I'm a homebody. But yeah, I do that once a week. So I fill my car up with gas. So I know that if I'm spending $30 4 times a month, that's going to be $120. That's going to add. I'm going to put that down. Gas under transportation. My car payment $220 under transportation. Okay. If I got to buy a Metro card, unlimited Metro card for the month, I think it's like $64. Put that on there instead. Think Ubers, because if you got a Metro card, then you definitely got Ubers. Because some days the bus just ain't busting, baby. The trains are just not training, and you need to get in an Uber. And so, that is something that you need to budget for. Then we have mortgage and or rent. Okay, that's by itself. Mortgage and or rent. Then we have insurance. Why did I do insurance? Because you don't need to let none of them lapse. None of them. Not a one. So you don't put this with other bills. This is one important bill in one ball. So we want the car insurance, the life insurance, the renters or homeowners insurance. Oh yeah. If you're paying for medical insurance, all of that goes there, okay? Because those are things that we can't allow to let lapse. All right? All right. Now, once we get the insurance and all of that situated, then we're going to go into debt. Debt. Now, why is debt important? Because this is my favorite part, because this is where the tax information goes. So next week, when we get back into this segment and we start talking about how to figure out your tax liability, we're going to put that in there with debt. But until then, we're going to do the credit card debt, the student loan debt, the personal loans. And also credit fixing. If you're trying to fix your credit, or like, for example, you're just trying to raise a score. I had a self-lender card. And so with self-lender, they do the certificate of deposit and they do the credit card for you. And so I had that. And so that needs to be debt. That's debt. That's a bill you pay every month. Doesn't matter if you're increasing your credit score or not. That is debt. Okay. And so now we have come to the end of this 50%. Doom, doom, doom. All of these things together make up your 50%. All right. All right. Wonderful. Now we're going to go down to our 20% portions. We got 20% for savings, 20% for wants and needs. Okay. All right. Now, before we get down there, if you were, let's say, this $15 an hour person, that would be $1,200. So for your 50%, that's $1,200. You got to figure out how to fit all of that into $1,200. Ooh, ooh. We robbing Peter to pay Paul, ain't it? Yeah, we're going to have to figure it out. We're going to have to get some extra income coming in. Passive income, okay? Passive income is the way to go. So make sure you check out the blog post for that information, all right? Now, when I do wants and needs, I like to split them up into two categories. Well, yeah, two categories per section, right? So I take wants, put them to the left, and I put household and personal, okay? Then I go to the right, and I put needs, and I put household and personal, right? So we've already decided that we only have 20% of that $2,400 a month to spend here. That's about $480, okay, guys? So why do I separate the categories? I separate the categories because sometimes a household want or a personal need can be swapped out. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, your household you may want new blinds for your household, but you may need toiletries that cut into that budget. So you get the toiletries first. You know what I'm saying? You may not be able to get those household wants. Or you may not have all the money to pay your bills because this child done broke their third, did I say the third pair? The third pair of glasses this year. So you may have to pull some money from there. Where are we going to pull it? Household wants, the blinds, okay? Household needs, groceries. Sometimes groceries is high, baby. Groceries is high. So you may have to pull away from your fast food budget. Now, something that I thought that was interesting. Prior to me having children, probably like 50-60% of my check went to fast food because I had two jobs and I'm cooking. Although my grandmother taught me how to cook, I'm Southern, so y'all know I burn. But I was lazy. I didn't have any kids, so I was like, what? And I didn't have a man, so I was ripping and running the streets with two jobs and my own apartment. Ooh, Lord, thank you for deliverance. So sorry, I had to get that laugh out because it was wild. Like, we all had those moments where you really shouldn't be alive right now. So you really got to give God all the praise for not taking his hands off of you because you did some stuff you really ain't had no business. Yeah, shout out to my peeps from back then. I only had two of them, but we was wild and we had a great time. So I am very thankful for that. Now, let's continue on. God. Woo! So something like very, very interesting that's going on right now that I think is pretty interesting is for the single crowd um, is the meal prep. So the meal prep is interesting to me because I see it in so many different areas, but it's actually saving a lot of money. And so, like, I know some of us, like, for example, the spring mix and the salad and all of that, we get tired of making salads or buying spring mix and it's going bad. I have found that investing is a really, really big thing. So you should always invest in what you want to save. So when I say food savers, mason jars, I know I make salads. I make salads and I put them in mason jars. So I go and I buy my romaine lettuce in whole heads and I wash them and cut them up and I put them in my mason jars and I seal them and they last a really long time in the refrigerator. I cut up my tomatoes, I cut up my eggs, I cut up a lot of my salad ingredients, chicken, whatever I need to do, and I put them in the mason jars so that I can go in and like pick what I need and just like keep on going, or make the whole salad in the mason jar and keep on going. But they keep for a long time. Those juices, all of that. Like I really just believe like if you're just in the crunch where you need to save some money, if we start in the house with like the groceries we buy and the amount of money we spend on that, we could be in a better place. I'll touch back on that in a second, but let's go ahead and move on to savings because we're still putting different things in different we're still categorizing. So with savings, what's going to fall into here is you got a 20%. That's $480. You can split that $480 in four different ways, $120 a piece. But one thing we need to keep in mind is, and I'm going to say it, and you're not going to like it, and I don't care, and it is what it is. If you don't have at least 3 months worth of bills saved up, so that 50%, along with the needs, let's cut the needs. Let's just make sure we got groceries. But that 50% along with the needs, if you don't have at least 3 months of that in your savings account, you broke. You're broke. You are broke. You are not prepared for an emergency. You are not prepared for anything. And that job that you walking around, oh, I'll go, oh, I'll this, oh, I'm going to have it. They could be bankrupt tomorrow. You don't know what's going to happen. Companies are closing. People getting laid off via email and Zoom. Please stop acting like you got another day and start putting away for your savings. This young mindset of, oh, I'll get paid again is driving me insane because y'all are robbing Peter to pay Paul when emergencies happen in your life or people doing GoFundMe accounts to bury you. And that's just not what's popping. I need y'all to do better as adults and be more financially responsible. Okay. It's like a call to action. Now, savings, four things if I want to make sure you include. Okay. Once you have your 3 months worth of bills in your savings account, because that needs to be your first function. That 480 don't really need to be touched. You need to leave that in there until you get 3 months worth of bills, or at least 1 month worth of bills. Because what happens if you change management? You decide you won't be on that job no more. Walk, and you can because you got the bill money. Okay, mustard seed of faith, and you can get anything done. Believe me. But yeah. So I usually split that into four places: the car or transportation, the house, personal, and future. And so when I say personal and future, I'm thinking like vacations, things of that nature, because we already have them 3 months worth of bills put up, okay? Vacations or just, regular things. Personal. When I say personal, I'm not about to sit here and preach to you. I love the Lord. I'm saved, Christian woman. I'm newly saved, so work with me. But I'm not going to act like that everybody that listens to my podcast is. I would love for you all to give your life to Jesus Christ. Yes, please, let's do it. But until you do, I know that you probably have, tattoo that you're saving up for. You're some when I say personal, those are the things I'm thinking about. You got a wig that you want that has absolutely nothing to do with giving your life to Jesus Christ. The wig is a wig, but I'm just giving examples of things that you may use for personal, because a good wig might run you $600-700, especially if it's handmade. And we got some bad wig makers out here, baby. So it's worth every penny. So you have to make sure you're putting into that. You may want a new outfit. You may want it hand beaded. Baby, we got some bad seamstress out here. You better know it. You better know it. So invest in yourself. You may decide that you want to do something different for yourself. You want a specialized skincare routine. Whatever you want, invest in yourself, but save for it. Don't just go out and say, oh, I'll get another check. Save for it, because you never know what you'll be able to do. Okay? All right. So, one big thing that we have not touched on is being honest with yourself when we're talking about wants and needs. So we're going back to wants and needs real quick now that we've gotten through, where we're putting things and how to classify. Um, I want you guys to try not to touch your tithes. If you can help it, try not to touch it. Even in the Bible, God gave leniency to those that could not afford to pay their tithes. So he definitely understands your situation. But if your situation does allow you to give something, make sure that you do. Make sure that you do, okay? Because how do you expect God to increase what you have going on if you're not willing to follow his commandments, okay? So with that being said, sometimes we got to look at a few things, right? And one thing we need to look at is our wants and needs, and how we classify a want and a need, and whether or not we're being honest with ourselves about what our wants and needs are, okay? And so when I say that, we're going to have a different kind of conversation. And I know some of you, your eyes are going to get really, really big. And the rest of you are going to be like, yes, finally, somebody that's speaking to us. So I need all my marijuana fans to come on to the front of the podium. Come on to the front, marijuana fans. Come on and talk to me, all right? All right, so, baby, you on an eighth to 2/8 a week. All right, we're talking about this. For those of you that do not know what I'm talking about, that is a measurement of marijuana. It's about 3.5 grams, and it will run you anywhere from $25 to $60. Hey, I'm not here to judge. That's none of your business. That's none of my business. That's why we're here. We're here. And if you jump in the comments with that nonsense of why would you spend it, mind your business, because the money they spend ain't doing nothing for you, baby. So mind your business. But anyways, what's important here is that we're being honest with ourselves and wants and needs. And we're going to put that on there on a want. So let's say we're going through an eighth a week, and that's $25 a week. So in a month, we've spent $100 on marijuana. We're going to put that under our wants. We're going to be honest. If we go and we go buy a big old bottle of Hennessy every Friday when we get off work, and that big old bottle of Hennessy costs us $40, then we're putting $40 on our, I'm sorry, not $40. We're putting $160 on our budget for once, and that's going to go beside our vices. If sneakers are your vice, I suggest you save. Do not go buying Jordans out of a paycheck. You knew the Jordans was coming out. They put the release dates out. Stop playing with me, okay? You knew them Jordans was coming out. You probably got a plug. The plug knew when the Jordans was coming out. You have this personal savings. Personal savings. Put that money to the side, and when they come out, go buy them Jordans. Go buy that outfit. Go buy that Fendi. Go buy that Fenty Beauty. Go buy what you want, but save for it properly. Like, people are always walking around saying, oh, I'm bad with money. I'm bad with money. No, you're not bad with money. You lack discipline. And if you love yourself and you love God, then you would enact some discipline. And so how do we enact discipline? All right. So let's talk for a second, because, we said newly saved. So y'all got to work with me, okay? Long time ago, not recent, a couple of years ago, I used to smoke a lot of weed, right? Yeah, this is people. We're going to be honest, remove the shame, right? And so with that being said, I asked God, I said, will you please deliver me from this? And so like the devil will come through, and, everybody judging at this point, go ahead and exit stage left, because my testimony is going to deliver somebody today. Let's keep going. So God, please deliver me, right? And so, like, the devil was on my back so hard because as I was trying to, stop, I was trying to do it my way. And I'm trying to go cold turkey because I don't like what this is doing to my money and this and that. And so, and in the back of my head, it's like, if you don't stop this now, you're not going to get blessed. It was a big thing, right? And so sometimes we can be our own worst enemy. So one day I'm sitting down and, God talks to me and he said, I don't think you really understand where we are right now. And I'm like, what do you mean? Well, a couple of months back, did you not realize what you were rolling up with and how many of them you were using at a time? Oh, yeah. And now do you realize at this point we no longer use nicotine at all? No additives, no anything. So you're making progress. Did you realize that now you're at one joint for an entire day versus multiple blunts? Did you realize that? No, you haven't realized that. Did you realize that you are no longer trying to make sure you have marijuana first before you make sure that you have, a new pair of shoes or a brand new shirt that you may be needing? Did you realize that? Okay, so things are changing for you. Things are changing for you. You're no longer putting your personal wants to the side for marijuana. So this is something that we're going through. We're getting to better. So I want you to stop being so hard on yourself about what you're doing and embrace the fact that you are changing and things are getting better for you. Come on, somebody. Come on. So we went from a joint a day when we started to give ourselves some grace to, hey, if I don't need this, I'm good. We don't have to have this right now. We don't need this at all. We can find other ways to manage our stress through prayer, heavy prayer, heavy prayer. You know what I'm saying? And so, one thing that helped me is understanding that God wants our intimate moments. Okay. And anybody that didn't expect it to go down this road, you were warned, like episode 1. Anyways, God wants our intimate moments. And so once I got to the point where I started giving him all of my intimate moments, and when I say intimate moments, I'm talking about when I get stressed out, I gotta go talk to God. These kids, it's on my last nerve and I'm ready to I gotta go talk to God. When I call customer service, because I'm from South Carolina, and so when I go into a store here in New York or I call customer service and they are so rude, not all of them, but just people just are just very rude here. And, then, I have to go and talk to God. It's a lot that has to happen in order for me to get there, but I give him my intimate moment. So then when I'm done giving it all to him and I have no reason to go roll up because I feel better. I feel better. I feel like it all has come off because I don't come out that room until everything comes down. I don't come out that room slobbing, spitting, snotting, crying, whatever. We're going to be face down, just laying it all out there. And then so once that's done, then it removes the purpose for it. So then it becomes a recreational thing. Well, why are you doing this? Because I'm chilling. I'm chilling. I'm relaxing. I'm rejoicing. I'm having a great day. And it's like, oh, okay, let's do what we got to do. And so then you get real busy because God starts blessing you with different things to do. And it's like, you know what, I can't even do this right now because I'm going to be asleep. You go weeks, you go months. So it's delivering takes grace. And so, I was on myself really hard at that time. Then, it didn't take me 2 days, 5 days, or 3 months to get this deep in. It did not take me this long. So it's not gonna take 3 days, 2, 3 months to jump back out. So I just say that when it comes to your spending as well, because we got some monogamous spenders out there. I'm sorry, not monogamous. Y'all, it's been a long day. But we got some spenders out there, that people that get paid, and the moment they get paid, they lose sight of all bills and all, promises that they made, everything they were supposed to take care of. They lose sight of that and they begin to think about, the fact that it's been a rough week and I haven't had any money all week. I haven't been able to do nothing for myself. I have to do something for myself right now. We have to get out of that mindset. And with proper planning and proper savings, then we move out of that and we move into other things. So, with that being said, I just want to give God thanks for that deliverance and, to be able to be so busy. That is not something that you often think about. And so I wish that on everybody and anybody else that is trying to, cut some areas in their budget where they may be spending a little too much money on their vices. I encourage you to, put it all on the altar. If you can put it on the altar, you ain't got nothing to worry about, baby. But let's move on and continue. So, You're honest about yourself. Now, what if fast food is what's taking up the majority of your check? What if fast food is what's doing it? Well, I've noticed that on TikTok, these girls, I'm not girls, these women, that's all I've seen doing it, are going and changing the game on family meals, right? So single women, men are going to restaurants like Longhorn Steakhouse, Olive Garden, things of that nature. They're buying family meals. And they are meal prepping these family meals so they'll have lunch for work and all of those wonderful things. And I'm so happy for them that it is working for them. I'm so happy for them. And that actually saves a lot of money because you're not buying a whole lot of groceries. I think one person spent like $45 at one of the restaurants, and that gave them like 4 meals. And I was so happy for them. The problem for me is, and if this is your problem, that probably ain't gonna work for you. The problem for me is once it come in my house, that's we got food at home. And sometimes I don't want food at home, baby. Sometimes I don't want that. And so I have to check myself. So if you one of them people, I don't suggest you do that. If you one of them people that sit up in the house and snack all day, don't do that. Because I'll eat that whole family meal, walk around working all day. Especially if I got a heavy workload. Oh, I'm going to eat. And so that's why I try to keep the salads in the mason jar. Cause the girl put on some weight since she been here, but we gonna break it all down later. We ain't talking about that. But you have to do what works for you. I say all that to say you have to do what works for you when it comes to cutting it down. If meal prepping is gonna cut it down and save you some money, then you got to do that. If if you gotta shop at the Dollar Tree this week, baby, you just got to shop at the Dollar Tree. Go in there. If you've never been in the Dollar Tree, I suggest you find one. You can get Colgate, you can get Crest toothpaste, you can get some soap. You can get, there are things that you can get in the Dollar Tree. Now it's going up. Some things are $3 and $5. $5 things in the Dollar Tree. You know some things have happened when you see something for $5 at the Dollar Tree, but it may still be cheaper than what you would get if you go to Target. This week you may not have it. That don't mean next week you can't do it, but this week you may not have it. I see funny TikToks. Girls say, they see black women out with their natural hair and their nails, bare. They say, my beautiful black sister, Afrocentric. They try to give them all these compliments. And, sister like, nah, I'm broke. If I had the money for these feed-ins, you would not see me this way. If I had the money to go see my favorite nail tech to get that full set, you would not see me like this. Because who's paying $40 for nails? No, you want that Freddy Krueger finger. You want that sleigh. So that's gonna cost you $60 to $90. Hey, I'm not here to judge. Personal self-care is self-care. If that's what you like, that's what you like. And I'm gonna encourage you to do it, but I'm gonna encourage you to do it responsibly. Okay? Responsibly. So let's get a moment and get a word from our sponsors, and then we'll come back, recap, and close out. Okay? Now, here at J Chambers Tax and Business Consult, this is how we pay the bills. We promote ourselves. Want to let you know the summer session is in, okay, guys? And we have summer seminars starting on June 3rd. We're starting with that 401k and taxes. We're talking to you about the things that you may not realize, what you're truly paying taxes on, the things that your job does not have time to tell you when they hand over that little packet, okay? So, I just want to let you guys know, we don't just want you, the working folks that have been out there for a while. We want your children, your newly graduates. If they have a job or you're putting them out there to get a job, especially going into the executive world, bring them over here. Let's not start our children in the same places where we started, where you went out to go get that job because you had to. They handed you that 401k packet. Look at where we are now. How many commercials have you seen with, do I have a lost 401k out there that I've forgotten about? How many of those commercials are you seeing? They're there for a reason, because we're uninformed. So go ahead, grab those kids, grab some family members, grab your ticket. They're only $5.99, but seats are limited, guys, okay? So grab your seat today, June 3rd. Can't wait to see you there. Bye. All right, guys. So today was a great episode. We got a little praise in. Got a testimony. I thank you so much for sticking with me. Um, and we got to break down that budget. Now, if you want a budget sheet, some examples on what to do, things of that nature, go ahead and jump on the blog. 24 to 48 hours. We'll have those budget sheets up for you. Remember, go to the store if you want to purchase them. Put in the code thank you and they will be free. So, and thank you doesn't work on anything else except for those. Okay, guys? So, want to let you know that. And that's only for my subscribers because you're only gonna know that the promo code is there if you listen to the episode. All right. Next week's episode, we will be helping you calculate your tax liability. Like we said, when that debt portion of our budget model, your taxes. That's why we did the gross income. So we are going to calculate that liability because why wait for the tax bill? This is why we have been building up and building up to, and we've been building up on this podcast with our episodes and our blog posts with all of our links, and on YouTube with our 10-minute tax lessons. Okay, guys. So if you feel like you're behind, jump on YouTube, jump on the podcast, catch up. You got 7 days, 7 days to jump in there and get as much information as you can. And if you still feel a little lost, send us an email, jc@jchambersconsult.services, and we will be more than happy to help you. But until then, guys, pay your tithes because God said so, and it could be tax deductible. This has been Tax Talk with Jay. You be blessed, all right?